hello, hi, hello. Hi, hello, hello, hi. So, I hope everybody is having a pleasant evening, or something. I think, hello. So, I think I've spent the last, 3 hours trying to figure out mods for Baldur's Gate, and it's not going well. It's going poorly. Very, very poorly. So, we're, we're gonna take a break because I can't do that anymore. I'm Autumn Ivy, and this is a live stream, so don't, as usual, expect very much from me. I'm just doing my best. The first thing I need to do is pop in and just double check my audio because there. Oh, we're not inputting anything. Good to know. Hmm. Fascinating. Why are we doing that? Thank you. The mic audio sounds fine, or what do you mean? Okay. I think we got it. Nice. All right. Pretty sure anyway. We got it. The little tinny sound is what I was looking for. Okay, cool. So, I decided to, hey, how are you, Amazonian? So I decided to do something that I haven't done before, which is go back and listen to one of the very, very, very first episodes of Accounts from a Lonely Broadcast Station that I ever recorded. Which, to put it in perspective, I actually have to go to Mr. Creepypasta's channel and look because I could not tell you the date. I recorded that very first episode, like, oh my god, how long's it been? Like 6 years ago? I don't even know anymore. Um, Fuck me. I need to go, like, fuck, I think I gotta go to my channel and find it. Hold on. It's been so long. Like, I have a list of creepypasta narrations. Alright, so I've got all the Happy New Year shit. I've got Dead Air, which Dead Air is the latest season. Is it under narrations? Maybe it's under narration. Let me check this. See, I've got all the complete, but I need, like, the first episode. I have no fucking idea where that even would be. Shit. Now I really want to find it. Is it... That's the complete. Fuck. I have so much shit everywhere. I didn't think this through because I didn't actually think that I'd, like, want a date. But now I kind of want a date that was, like, when it all started. Hold on. Let me see if I can do it this way. Oh, wait. Maybe. 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 I think I might have found it. Is this the first episode? I think it is. Okay. So the very first thing that I want to do is make myself smaller and actually fix my media source really quick because I am going to advertise. So for those of you that are, I will check the chat in 2 seconds. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to update stuff. So for those of you that are not aware, I do want to show you this really quick. If you're fans from Account from a Lonely Broadcast Station, I would recommend, I guess well, you get to see my screen for a second. Don't stress it though. All right. So I would recommend checking out Kel Byron's book. That's Windingus, A Lonely Broadcast, Book 1. That is available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. So if you guys want to check that out, I definitely recommend buying that if you have not already. It does support an absolutely amazing author, and it would be sincerely appreciated. So, but yeah, with that said, May 24th of 2018, it looks like. And my guess is that's got to be the very first episode, I think. Which puts it, holy shit, 2018. Wow. That is wild. That is Jesus. Like absolutely insane. But having said that, obviously it's been 5 going on 6 years since I've listened to the initial audio that I had recorded for Mr. Creepypasta. A lot has changed in the last 5 years. A lot, which is weird to think about. And I feel like I've never reacted to some of my older content, nor have I really kind of put a lot of effort into going back and looking at, how things used to be or what it was like during that time period, especially because a lot of other shit was going on in my life. So it's it's interesting actually to kind of see what's happened and how the quality has changed and so on. The audio is really low on what? Because my mic is showing that it's here. All right, is that better? Because I don't want to get insanely loud. Is my problem. So okay. Okay, is that better? Yeah, I figure if you're experiencing it, then it's got to be somebody else. So just make sure that you're paying attention to that. Also remember that I do get loud, which is why a lot of the time this is initially softer for my streams because I scream. But anyway, yeah, so we're taking a look at one of the original recordings I ever did back in 2018 for the initial posting of Accounts for Lonely Broadcast Station. I'm listening to it from my channel to Mr. Creepypasta's channel because I feel like, you gotta support my guy. Hello. But yeah, I'm Autumn Ivy, and this is me revisiting the original Accounts from a Lonely Broadcast Station creepypasta story time from May 24th of 2018. It's about 18 minutes long. Fuck. All right, here we go. I only just started working this new job, and already it warrants keeping some kind of online journal. The internet up here isn't so great, but now and again, when I stand in just the right spot, I'm able to get a signal. It probably sounds ridiculous that I'd have so much trouble. My voice has changed so much. Considering that I work at a broadcast station where you would imagine it's downright necessary to have contact with the outside world. Well, in these last 3 weeks I've been here,
I feel more out of contact than ever. Let me be frank with you all. It's pretty lonely and boring up here sometimes, and other times it's absolutely fucking bonkers.
It's
But
always fucking
during those
bonkers.
days when it's dull and painfully slow, I think I need some kind of outlet to talk and tell my
Oh, the
stories.
echo.
That's why I've chosen this outlet, so that I can tell you all what it's like up here. Right now, I'm sitting next to the wall by the bathroom.
Oh,
The
the
only
mic echo.
spot I can get a tiny bit of Wi-Fi today. My butt is cold, my back is sore, but it's better than not having any internet connection at all.
Oh my
My name is
god.
Evelyn. It's an old lady name, I know. I'm 24 and I have a degree in journalism, but the best I could do with it right now was apply for a radio DJ position. 3 weeks ago, I started working at a broadcast station that sits 50 feet above the ground. It's on a hill between an old rural town and a long, sparsely inhabited woodland. It's a surreal, lonely, and sometimes maddening place to be.
Little
If you
did
live
you
here,
know.
which I'm almost sure none of you do, I'm probably the only station you can listen to. The town is nestled between green-covered mountains, but the signal reaches far enough for travelers to hear sometimes.
Oh, the speed
If you
reading.
pass through a very long stretch of road next to the woods, maybe taking a piss by the trees after passing the rest stop that's been without plumbing for 10 years, maybe you've heard my voice or listened to a couple of songs. There's nothing else for miles, and somehow our town doesn't even pick up the tiniest signal from anywhere else. We play a bit of every genre of music to keep everyone in the town happy. By we, I mean myself and the owners of the place who put me here.
Oh,
I'm the
wow.
only radio DJ working right now. I know a few of you are probably thinking how this place stays running with only one DJ, and I'll tell
Barely.
you, I live here. Since I got the job, I also received a back room inside the station with a mattress, a fridge, and the basics you would expect from a one-room apartment.
Poor
At
Evelyn didn't
midnight,
get
the
a
radio
fucking
plays an
real
automatic
apartment
playlist for 6
until
hours
like
so that I can sleep.
the third
Though
season.
I've been known to wake up several times in the night just to check how the broadcast is going. Living on site was a part of the deal that many others would probably reject, but it works for me. I lost my home recently, but that's another story for another
Boy, wasn't
post.
it.
What I'm trying to
Wasn't
illustrate is that
it?
I've been working alone without more than a few 5-minute conversations this entire time. And because I'm the only DJ, obviously there aren't many things involved aside from playing music, sharing the
I
weather
think
forecast,
it's because
warning the locals about emergencies,
I
and
know
talking
a
about a
lot
bit of
more
local
now than I
news.
did from a
Calls
technical
happen so
perspective and like a sound
infrequently that
engineering
sometimes
perspective
I easily forget
than
that
I
anyone
did
is even
then.
listening
And I also
at all.
recorded with like a Blue
But
Yeti
all that
initially
aside,
and like a
I did say
snowball.
that things are a little maddening around here, didn't I? I imagine what some would
And
think.
I can hear the
It's a pretty
quality
remote
difference. It's
place,
just, it's
only one
crazy. It's
corner
not a
store
bad
and
thing.
one
Like
tiny
everybody had to
diner
start
for
somewhere,
50
but that's why I
miles.
wanted to do
Woods
this.
all around us.
I wanted to
and
be able
it would
to,
be expected if I said we had some backwoods
you know,
mischief makers roaming around. That's not it, though.
to hear it and
Last
experience
week, the
it.
same song
So
played on the radio for over an hour. I don't mean it repeated over and over and I couldn't turn
hi,
it off, like
Bubbles.
some technical difficulty. It simply never ended. I even remember the song. It was Unchained Melody, and I knew as I listened that it had never been 75 minutes long. There were no calls of complaints, and after almost 80 minutes of listening to the song seamlessly repeat its chorus as if it had been composed that way, I was finally able to simply switch to the next piece on the list. Not before getting a call, though. It was the first call I had gotten in this station. On the other end of the phone was the voice of an old man, frail and hoarse. He simply croaked, "Thank you." His words were agonizingly slow,
Damn.
painful, dry. It almost sounded like he had a mouth
I can
full
hear
of
me.
dust, and
I can hear me
swear I could
touching
smell the
things in the
mustiness from
background
phone.
too.
He hung up before I had a chance to say anything to him, but I'm almost glad. I'm not sure he had the energy for another word. Another time, just this last Wednesday, 5 birds killed themselves on the window. That is to say, they smacked against it so hard, they just dropped. I know for
Oh
a
my
fact that
god.
this tower isn't invisible. It's an eyesore against the view of the trees, really. But
Oh, some
on
of the
that
dead
same day,
reading in
just
between. Pick a
minutes
lane.
apart from
Oh
one
my
another,
god.
5 different birds hit the glass of my broadcasting room head first, hard enough to, well, die. All in the same
I
general
can hear
spot,
myself
too.
moving in my chair.
I'm
Oh my
surprised they didn't
god.
leave a crack. They did, however, leave a bit of a mess that bothered me for the rest of the day until I finally
Oh,
climbed down to the fire escape with a
wow.
rag like some kind of old timey window washer. We also have interesting rules.
This is
There's a board near
crazy.
my desk with a list of guidelines I've been told I have to follow. Rule number 1: never let the radio go silent for more than a few minutes. If
Yep.
the broadcast is down due to technical error, activate the bell. Note that I still don't know what the bell is, other than the fact that there's a button on the wall
We
labeled
fucking
no
found out
such.
later.
It remains a tempting mystery. Rule 2: take care of the equipment, don't let anything break.
Nope.
Rule 3: any suspicious calls must be recorded. Never
I think
take
we I think
over
we
a
broke that
recording.
rule quite a few
And
times. I'm
rule
pretty sure we
4:
didn't record
when the
all of
fog
them.
rolls in, do not leave the building. Do not open the door. Sound the emergency broadcast.
Like that did
It
any good later.
struck me as very odd that my employer would have such a strict rule about the fog. I mean, after all, this is the main reason why they insisted on hiring someone who could stay at the station 24/7,
Ew.
at least until they get me a coworker. It seemed out of left
Danny
field,
boy!
so specific and yet unrelated to any of my duties. I was surprised the fog was enough of an issue to warrant an emergency alarm,
There was a
really,
reason.
but only a couple of days into my job, I saw it for myself. On my second day of work, I was put to the test of getting the
God, this is
emergency
crazy.
broadcast out as soon as I could. You see, the entire room I work in has windows all around so that I can see outside in the woods. I assumed at
I noticed
first that this was just
myself
for the
kind of
natural
speed
light,
reading it
but now
too.
I'm thinking it's more of a watch, a fire watch, a fog watch, whatever kind of watch. I figure if I'm positioned so high in the trees, it must be for a good reason. I'd been
There's a
switching
difference
between songs,
between
getting
clean
ready to introduce
audio
a
and
new
like
classic high school
intentionally
evening,
dirtied
when
audio.
my eyes caught a rolling cloud of white on the horizon. I let the song start, turning off my microphone and rushing to
And
the
it's
window,
it's
expecting
the
an
sound
avalanche
difference, I
come this
think.
way.
Like some of the
It seems
clinking and
absurd,
chairs
I know,
moving and stuff
but
makes
that's
sense
exactly
because
what it
it
looked
is
like
a
from a distance.
broadcast,
It
but
looked like an avalanche, rolling
the
white and
actual
gray,
overall quality
moving like
is
ocean waves as it
immensely
spilled over
different
its own
now.
form and moved closer and closer. Fog didn't walk, did it? The
It does
fog's
now,
movements
bitch.
were so perfectly executed that it reminded me of steps. It undulated as if its motions were being controlled by weight. I almost expected it to make a sound, but that's a stupid thought to have. I didn't watch for too long, slightly startled by the thickness of the fog on its way towards the town. I did just as I was instructed to do and returned to my station, killing the music immediately and taking up the microphone. This is an emergency broadcast for Pines Haven. I was speaking straight from a script using my most stern, clear spoken voice. This is a heavy fog warning. I repeat, this is a heavy fog warning for
Ain't nobody
Pines
in that
Haven.
goddamn town
Return
listen
to
to a
your
single
homes
thing you had to
immediately
say.
and wait
Not
for
a single
further
motherfucking
instructions.
one of them.
Please lock all doors and windows. I furrowed my brows at my own words. This was extreme for fog, I thought,
Was
but
it?
it wasn't going to creep into anyone's house and commit a breaking and entering, was it?
Bitch, wait
I
till you
chalked it
lose a
all up to
knife over it.
paranoia. Perhaps it was an unnecessary precaution we were obligated to make for some legality reason, but it still sent a chill up my spine. I turned my microphone off, leaving the music off as well. As much as I loved a bit of Stevie Nicks, it was too interested watching the fog to pay attention to the silence. My eyes were fixed downward. This insanely thick bank of misty ass fog had almost gotten all the way to the station and was curling around the bottom of my tower. It didn't quite reach where I was way up in the
No,
air,
it
however.
did not.
Wisps of clouds still drifted in front of the huge, stretching window that showed me the entirety of the forest. I could see just how far this fog went. It must have gone pretty damn far because it was just about the only thing I could see aside from the tops of a few of the tallest pine trees. And those tall pine trees were moving.
Yeah,
I
they
thought
were,
it was an illusion
bitch.
at first, brought on by the
No.
churning waves of fog beneath, but I was wrong about that. The trees that I could see were shaking, moving from side to side briefly and one at a time.
They were
It
doing
was
the boot
almost
scoot boogie.
violent, as if they were being pushed. The most ridiculous thought popped into my head as I realized what it looked like.
Was it?
It looked like something was on its way towards me, crashing through the forest and hitting the trees as it went. The motions were serpentine. I
Mm-mm-mm.
watched one tree shake, then another to its right, then another to the tree's left. All the while, it came closer. I
Yep,
watched all of this with more curiosity than anything else.
for
Judging
now.
by the speed, I was about ready to panic at any moment when I suddenly heard something that startled me even more. It was an unfamiliar sound. The phone rang.
Ooh.
I ran to the desk and
Not
picked
the
up the phone
phone!
quickly, all the while my eyes continued to stare out the window. Hell, Evelyn! It was my boss on the other end, and he sounded furious. I
Happened.
could
I don't
almost
remember
hear
what
the
happened to
spit
her
flying from
boss.
his mouth with each word.
They did.
Turn
The
the
boss
radio
just kind
back
of
on
disappeared.
now. Sir, there's a fog emergency. I didn't think. I know. Turn the radio back on.
My
He hung
man's
up the phone
really
before I had a chance
couldn't
to ask
just do it
questions,
himself,
but
but that's
it's a
fine.
good thing I didn't get that time. I glanced upwards, eyes
She got
fixed
pretty
on the
close to
window to
dying
see the
that day,
fog
that's for
was
sure.
forming higher and higher. The treetops had all completely disappeared, and the window was nearly covered completely. I swore in that moment I saw something in the murky gray mass slowly pulsing on the other side of the glass. A
Blech.
shape. It was dark, moving shape that was too concealed within the mist to give any semblance of detail. I didn't wait
Undulating.
around to see what happened next. I followed my boss's
Bet.
orders, slammed my ass back into the chair, shoved my
As you should
headset
have.
back over my ears, and turned up the music again. Within moments, the signal was live once more, and some bit by the Eagles was playing through my speakers and every radio in town as well. I breathed a sigh of relief. What was I so relieved about? As far as I knew, nothing was on the line just because I had forgotten to turn the music back up,
Little
other
did
than perhaps
you
my jaw.
know.
There was still a sense of discomfort, however, as
As
I
there
turned
should
my
be.
eyes back up to the window. The fog was still there, but it was creeping further and further back down into the woods. In moments, it had sank beneath the bottom of the window and out of sight.
Run,
More of the
bitch!
trees came back into view, and then, before my very eyes, I watched the horizon appear as the bank of fog slowly dissipated and moved on through. Strangely, I got that same feeling that I was
I can
looking
hear
at something
my
solid
hiccups
and
in
organic
between where
again.
I corrected with my voice
Well,
later.
the fog stopped after that. I didn't have to make another emergency broadcast, and it's been about 2 weeks since. Now things are just a normal level of weird. I get a strange call now and then, usually someone from the town I don't recognize saying some gibberish message I can't understand,
Oh,
or
blah, blah, blah,
now and
blah,
then a
the
song in my
flubs.
music lineup begins to play backwards. Once or twice, I swear I've heard someone talking in the room, even with headphones on, but it's a muffled blur of noise.
Oh my
Yesterday,
god.
I saw a bird perch on the edge of the window staring at me, and I swear
Bartholomew!
it was human like.
You bastard!
But unless there's some weirdo out there crossing bird DNA with human genetics, it's probably just me being overly paranoid.
For
I think
now.
that happens when you've been alone for a really long time. I have a lot
Does
more
it?
to talk about, and I'm sure in the following days and weeks I'll have more stories and things to write down that might be of interest, but
Boy, you
honestly,
did.
right now, my butt is starting to hurt something awful from sitting on this cold floor next to the bathroom. The 20-minute music block is almost over, and I'll have to go through the local news. Maybe, if you're driving through looking for a place to stop, you might hear me. Oh, and if you are, don't bother with the rest stop. The plumbing is still broken, and their coffee tastes like gasoline. Well, it probably is gasoline. This is Evelyn from 104.6 FM. Have a safe night and be careful out there.
Oh! Wow. 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 Okay, so since it's fresh in my head, I just want to that was the very first episode I ever recorded for Accounts from a Lonely Broadcast Station back in 2018. And for perspective, I want to listen to the most recent final chapter uh, for Accounts from a Lonely Broadcast Station Dead Air. So we won't listen to the whole one, but I do want to pull it up. This is I believe it's chapter 3, but we'll listen to a few minutes of it because I want to hear the differences. Hi, it was tiny baby Evelyn. And this is big girl Evelyn now.
You can see everything.
Oh my
Miles
god.
and miles of green pines were hidden now, obscured behind a raging winter storm that blustered through the night and into the morning. There was no sunrise. The light of dawn was subtle and dim.
Holy
I
shit.
didn't even know what time it was. All of the clocks on the wall, on the computers, on Finn's watch.
The mic
Well,
difference
they
is
were all
night
going
and day.
backwards. 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, all the way until midnight.
My
Where they all
babies.
stopped at the exact same
When?
time.
The
Finn and
babies.
Daniel sat at the desk, headsets on and monitoring the computers religiously. I stood by the security cameras, squinting my eye up at the screens to watch the slightest glimpse of activity behind the flurry of violent snowfall.
Definitely got a new mic.
Sometimes, when the wind subsided for only a moment, I could spot movement near the tree line, a shift
This
in
is
the
so
ground.
crazy.
Judging by the distant rumble beneath us, the Hydra was nearby and patrolling the tunnels again. I crossed my arms, my breath forming a cold fog in front of my face.
The way
Missing
that I'm
shards from the
speaking is a
window
lot
brought
different
in
too. Like you
gusts
can
of wind
hear
that turned the radio
the
station
shit
into
she's
a
been
big
through.
walk-in freezer.
Almost.
All of us bundled up in our coats and hats to get through the night.
I'm
without
on
dripping
a
frost.
Newman T103.
Finn had been on the phone since the crack of dawn. Anyone answer yet? I asked, pacing back and forth. Nope. Finn took off his headset with a disgruntled frown, putting a hand to his forehead. Called the village hall and the police station. The phones just kept ringing. The floor beneath us shook, violent enough for something to crack. I
Have a good night.
bracing myself against the wall as everything on the desk shifted a couple of inches to the left. Felt like we were beginning to tip. Why would they ignore us? I threw my hands up and let them slap down at my sides. I mean, you'd think we'd be a priority. And if something goes wrong up here, then it'll go wrong everywhere else, too. Not sure. Finn shrugged, sitting back in his chair with his foot tapping. Unless no one's there. I turned to the window,
so crazy
staring
to
into the
hear those
vortex
side
of
by
snow where I
side.
knew
Like,
the town to be. In the distance, somewhere behind this blinding white mess, there was a little village that could very well be empty. Think we're the only ones left? I asked out loud to the room, not expecting an answer.
If no one's there, why can't
Spike!
we leave too?
Daniel asked, tightening the scarf around his neck. He passed an earnest glance between Finn and me, eyebrows raised and slightly hopeful. Because someone might still be out there, holed up and waiting out the storm.
This is
Finn
so
stood up, staggering slightly
crazy.
when another gust of heavy wind caused the floor to rock like the deck of a ship. I scoffed. And there might be no one.
The
And
narration
fog won't
differences
stop
are
if
there in
I-
the way that I'm speaking
Finn
too.
clarified,
And it's just,
passing me
this
a
is insane to
scolding
hear.
glance. We don't know how far it can travel. Next town over.
It's I think that's the best part when
country.
though is like doing
I
this
chuckled
sometimes
nervously,
after it's
leaning
been this
against the wall.
long is
Yeah,
fascinating.
Big Boy can swim? I asked.
Big boy.
Unsurprisingly,
The differences
one laughed.
between your writing style and my
The
vocal
pipes in the back of
style
the
and
room started to
quality and
clang
Spike,
shiver,
like
making the most
it's just
ungodly noise.
fascinating
of
to
the sink
hear
came a
side by
bubbling sound,
side,
and
which
then
is
a
why I
messy
wanted to do
spray of
this, you
black
know.
liquid,
I just
splattering across the porcelain as steam rose into the
Blech.
cold air. I didn't think anything could be worse than the blood, but
we
this
have
place was just
the
full of
babies.
surprises.
Calm
All
down,
the while,
Deadpool.
the radio was going haywire again. Songs
I
playing
do
backward,
I
or
do think what
sometimes
I
just
like about
skipping
being
on the
able
same
to sit
spot
here
over
and listen to the differences though is you can also
over
hear
again. By now, the chorus to Lonely
the
Teardrops
growth
by good
of a
old Jackie
character
Wilson would be
and what
stuck
she's
in my
been
head
through in
until I'm
Evelyn.
done.
And I'm not saying that like
Cabinets were
patting my own
slamming on
fucking
their own
back,
while
right?
above us was
It
swinging violently in a
not it's
circle,
not just
and
in the way
ghostly
that the writing
voices were
is,
whispering
but
from
the
the blanket
delivery
again.
itself
God, it was like a
has
house of
more of
horrors,
like
but
a
just
I've been through it and I'm
all
fucking
kinds of
over it
creatures from
now.
all sides.
And it's just
The
so
stilts
cool
began to lean,
to
the
fucking
legs of
hear.
the desk screeching as it moved a few inches across the floor. From outside, I could hear the sickening creak of bending metal from the radio mast next to us. Its red flashing light was still blinking through the snow flurries.
Hey, Storm.
Behind it,
Yeah,
somewhere
she
past the
just
tree line and through the mist,
that and like the
I could
admission
see
of
the
the things
vague
she's been
outline of
through
enormous twisted
in
antlers
her own life
poking above the
outside of
pines.
Big Boy and the rest of the
Its
shit, but like
footsteps sent a
the
vibration through the ground,
alcoholism and the stuff with her
one
dad
heavy
and
hoof
admitting
at
the
a
stuff with,
time.
you know, everything
The
that
beast
happened,
was
like it's
pacing,
just
like
it's
a
just
hunter
fucking
waiting for
so
its prey to come out of
cool.
hiding. The lights were flickering again.
Advertisement. Okay, here we go. We're back.
We all
Sorry.
heard something from up above, a clatter against the metal roof. It shook dust from the ceiling, the particles picked up by the wind.
Oh yeah, and I guess
It
this
was
is
followed by
important for
another,
other people to see in
then
here
another,
too, because it gives
as
them
the
an
storm
opportunity to
outside
see
began
that
to
like
spit
you are
balls of
constantly
hail the size
growing
of
and kind of
grapes.
shaping, you know,
God, it
who
was
you are
never
as an
enough, was
actor
it?
and a voice actor and a narrator, or
Ben
even
was still
just who you are in
fussing at his
general.
console, trying to
Um,
connect to an emergency
because
line.
I drew on a lot
Finally,
of shit
after
that had
over an
happened to
hour of
me
trying, he let out a
as
little
well
gasp
getting
and
into
held onto the
this.
ears of his headset.
So
Daniel and I both
I
rushed
also
the cars
aged
on,
and went through
listening
some
in as
shit
the
in the
call
same way
connected
that
to
she
some
did.
distant
So
number.
it really, really
Hello?
worked.
Finn spoke loud and clear into his microphone. This is operators 28, 29, and 30 from the Pine Haven
The
Emergency Broadcast Station.
babies.
Location 104.6 is experiencing structural damage. I repeat, location 104.
That's an understatement.
There was a whine of static in our ears, bitter and sharp. Daniel quickly pulled off his headset as if
The
by
urgency
instinct,
of the
while
delivery
Finn
is
tapped his finger
too
against the microphone. Can you hear me?
is definitely
Through the
different.
white
Hey,
noise, a voice broke through. We both heard it, soft and quiet, as if far away from the receiver. It was the sorrowful tone of a woman, weak but calm. Hi, Stephen, it's Mom. I know you're busy, but I just wanted to call and tell you how much I love you, and in case I haven't told you enough,
oh,
I'm so proud of everything you've... Finn's finger couldn't get to the button fast enough, hanging up the line and disconnecting us from the channel immediately.
oh, the baby.
Without a single word, he pulled his headset away from his ears and put it down calmly, his face stern and emotionless as he left his seat to stand alone by the window. Daniel was about to get up, keen on marching over to the window to check on him. I grabbed him tightly by the arm and held him back, shaking my head.
So, no one's coming.
He said quietly as he sat back down, eyes wide with a sense of dread that was all too familiar. As the building around us began to quake and shiver once more, we watched several shards of glass fall onto the floor at Finn's feet. The fact of the matter is, there's no one out there coming to help. At the end of everything, it'll be just us three in this long stretch of forest, locked in a deadly staring match to see who flinches first. Our odds were
It's really
looking
what it was at the end of the day.
shitty.
Oh my
Dan
god.
was the first to interrupt the miserable silence.
I have something to show you. While we still have time.
Is it important? Daniel nodded his head with a sad smile.
It is. I want you to have your Christmas present a little early, just in case.
As I leaned back in my chair impatiently, he simply slumped, and I gave a grunt of dissatisfaction.
But it was so good when.
But this really isn't the time for... He was already reaching into his bag.
No, I mean it. I really
even
want to make
but
sure
even
you see
Mr.
it before-
Creepypasta has grown
Well,
in his deliveries too, and I
He was
just
pulling out something square and
I
flat,
love hearing
bound in
this.
leather.
I didn't get a chance to wrap it. It's not done yet, actually, but it might be the best we can do.
He pushed a leather book into my lap.
And at first, I just stared at it before my friend gave me an encouraging nod. I cracked open the first page to find a thick photo album, stuffed with all of the Polaroids Daniel had been taking since his last birthday. A photo of us at the desk, exhausted at 5 o'clock in the morning. Finn reluctantly posing in his brand new Rangers uniform. A candid shot of me on the fire escape throwing stale cookies at Bartholomew. Yep. One of the pages in the
Oh.
middle
The
was
boy.
blank. But the caption was already written. November. Evelyn moves into her new apartment.
Oh.
I remembered the photo still stuck to my fridge at home. I understood why he gave it to me now. Why he said it was the best we could do. From the dreadful look in Dan's eyes to the unease in the air around us, it was possible, perhaps even likely, that there wouldn't be any more pictures. God, I was trying so hard not to get emotional. You know, all those mundane little moments became a new story. Mostly untold, but brighter than
Oh,
the
my
tale
heart.
ended. A thought drifted briefly into my mind. When the three of us were gone, and Operator 31 was taking over, I hoped somebody would find this. I hoped we would be remembered like this. Not as panicked voices over the radio or bodies strung up in the trees, but as three people who found hope.
Oh. Oh. The baby. Oh.
I flipped to the end, where the empty pages flew by, and a message was left on the back cover in Dan's messy cursive. Freckleface. I can't wait to spend another year being the biggest pain in your ass. Merry Christmas. Love, Danny Boy. As I grinned at the last page, Daniel lifted his shoulders in a shrug and fidgeted nervously with his hands.
Sorry, it's not super fancy or anything. I'm not really an artist or...
Shut up. I laughed, wiping my eye. It's perfect. Thank you. I put the book down and pulled him in for a tight hug around the shoulders. As I squeezed the life out of him, I knew I was thanking him for more than just a photo album. The whistle of wind was louder now, breaking through cracks. The security camera closest to the tree line was beginning to flicker and lose its connection, and all three of us knew why. The ground was shifting.
And then it
making
got
an awful amount of noise
shitty.
as the nearest pines bent and groaned against the push of something enormous, tangled in the roots.
This music is really...
We're
The
losing
music
camera
is
3,
different
Jim
too,
said,
man. Like, the
balling up a
whole
fist in frustration when it
experience of
finally went to
everything
static for good.
is
Judging
crazy.
from the crash we heard, the shed had collapsed yet again, unable to stay standing when the frozen soil crumbled in. God, and I just fixed the damn thing too.
Yeah, like...
The hail was still
It's
falling,
just...
tapping against the roof
it's
so loudly that I
such
couldn't
a
even hear
wild
something.
experience.
Buddy, I'm not worried about the shed. I was already getting up to my feet, but I stumbled immediately and fell on my ass when the whole place started to tip again. The power flickered, the lights dimmed, and above us, there was a terrible crack that made my spine tingle. Suddenly, the cold air was coming from above. A ball of hail the size of my fist had
Oh,
broken
man.
through the roof, falling through the supports and hitting the floor with a loud thud. All at once, the storm took a turn.
Yeah.
Ice was bombarding the windows, shattering them to pieces until the lookout was an open door to the winter air. The wind that blew inside was enough to push us all back, tilting the entire room. Daniel and I rushed to the desk, using every available body
Ooh, good
part we
music
had
choice.
to
Like,
keep the
kudos.
equipment
Hot
from falling
damn.
onto the hard floor and busting to pieces. It was a losing battle. Computer screens flickered, keyboards went flying, and plugs were popping loose. Coffee cups shattered, their contents cold and untouched. The whole place was crumbling to pieces. The sky was falling. Ice shards big enough to bust through the roof were raining down, tearing into the desk and the floors, and nearly killing us in the process. All
it took was one single chunk of solid ice to bust the console and take everything down. And unfortunately for us, that's exactly what happened. Sparks were flying. Shards of ice tore into the computer monitors, turning the screens dark. The floor beneath us was starting to crack straight down the middle, the desk and all of its broken contents sinking into the center. Below, we could see the long and perilous drop. Broken support beams splintered all the way down. Okay, fuck this. It's time to go. I was shaking like a leaf as Daniel grabbed my arms, helping me jump from one side of the floor to the other. Finn was already raiding the cabinets, pulling out everything the three of us could carry. His pistol, a fireman's axe, first aid kit. He shoved the
Fucking
axe in
Finn,
his belt
man.
and threw the
Coming
shotgun
in
and
clutch.
ammunition my way. I caught it in trembling hands, strapping it around my back and filling my coat pockets as we raced for the door. The tower was already leaning in two directions, split in half and letting gravity take it. The forest was on our
Stressy
doorstep
aggressy.
in mere moments. Thorny vines were crawling up the sides of the wrecked building like tentacles, slithering at furious speeds and bending the metal stairs. It was a hazardous and slippery
I'm waiting
path
for
to the
something,
bottom,
so
but
bear with me.
nowhere near as terrible as the destination. Through the blinding fog and the flurry of snow, we could see the glow of his eyes. Dozens of them, as bright and white as a beacon. The amalgamite roared, that blended voice of elk, and bear, and human, creating a deafening sound that I could feel in my bones.
And
He
you
stood
did.
taller than the young trees, charging forward to crash his twisted antlers into the radio mast. He brought it down with one motion. The blinking light atop it going out forever, and the metal bending and whining against the beast's weight. He trampled it with at least 20 different mismatched legs.
I love him so much.
We were fucked.
The big smelly sun.
It was all over. Our only hope was to get in the truck and drive, delaying the inevitable, but shit, man. And for the first time ever, I didn't want to die. I looked out into that foggy forest, barely visible through the storm, and I hated every thought of joining it. Finn took the lead, using a pistol to clear the way for us as we raced down the quickly collapsing stairs. Wicked-looking beasts.
That line
fused
hit
between
harder
human
personally
and
than it should
animal,
have.
crawled
Holy
up the sides
shit.
of the fire escape in droves to try to take us
I
out
haven't
of them.
listened to this since I
The
recorded it.
ground beneath us was rumbling, but it wasn't the quakes. Mounds of frozen dirt shifted and bubbled under the surface. Something huge, pushing its way through the mines that stretched beneath us.
It's
The Hydra had been waiting.
bastard.
I was gripping Dan's arm, but he suddenly stopped. The vines had wrapped around one of his legs, gripping it in such a tight hold that I could hear his joints pop. Fuck! Hold still! I shouted, fumbling with the shotgun. Was it loaded? I didn't even know if it was loaded! Daniel was tugging at his leg, wincing in pain. I could see blood staining his pants as thorns began to dig in deeper. Danny, just give me a second! Hold still! He gave me a look of pure, direct determination. But there was terror in his eyes, too. And before I could do anything to help, he grabbed me and pushed me over the railing, throwing me off the side of the fire escape with one decisive motion. As I fell, making that sudden trip to the frozen ground, I could hear him shout the words, "I'm sorry," over the noise. A scream caught in my throat just before I hit the ground. The snow softened my blow, creating an Evelyn-shaped hole where I landed. And just in time. The amalgamite had finished taking down the metal tower and moved to the next, charging into our once secure refuge. its limbs tangled in the wooden beams, crunching them beneath its weight like a pile of twigs. Electric cords snapped, sending sparks flying through the air as the tower finally
This
collapsed
is
with a loud and eerie
such a
boom,
night and day
the
difference.
impact shaking the mountainside. The amalgamite went with it, caved in beneath the wood and metal. Its antlers were tangled in the twisted remains. As the beast roared in frustration, I forced myself to my feet on aching legs that were still shivering from the fear of falling. The ground
Bye.
trembled. The voices of the dead surrounded us, staggering through the fog with their blinding white eyes, glowing like so many fireflies in an open field.
Those
Many of them had been
descriptions
crushed by the
when.
falling tower.
Oh my god.
Blood and dark stains splattered across the snow.
Your
Others
writing
were trying to
by
pull
this
themselves
point
out of the twisted
is
mess left
just
behind. Humans, animals, combinations of the two. Creatures so rotten, I didn't even recognize them anymore.
the background undertone noises.
Forrest had brought everyone out to play. Finn
I appreciate
was
that.
already on his feet, and I was the first to rush to the wreckage, ignoring the motion beneath the snow and the deafening roars of the amalgamite as I threw aside broken pieces of wood beams and twisted metal. "Danny!" I yelled for him,
Oh,
but I got no answer. My heart was racing so
yeah,
quickly
I
that it
appreciate
hurt.
that.
"Dan, you fucking idiot, where are you? Answer me!" "I found him," Finn called out, waving for me through the mist. I could just barely see his silhouette. I fought my way through the shifting snow, climbing over the remains of our tower to get to my friend. More than once, my shoe caught something soft and organic. I didn't want to stop and check what it was. Finn was already pulling Daniel out of the wreckage. God, even with the heavy fog in our faces, I could still see the blood. So much of it. His right pant leg had been torn through, shards of bone sticking out and steam rising from the warmth of his wound into the cold air. He was breathing heavily. The color drained from his face, and his whole body shivering from pain and shock. "Hey, it's okay, buddy. It's okay." I helped lift his head out of the debris, wiping blood from his cheek. "It's okay. We're getting out of here, okay? Finn, can you..." He didn't even wait for the question before he was lifting Daniel up, our injured friend crying out in pain as his broken leg twisted to the side, unsupported. We didn't have time to be gentle about it or to treat his wounds. "Len, get the truck. I'll put him in the back." I stumbled back up to my feet, hearing the whine of metal behind us as the amalgamite tossed away pieces of the tower, fighting its way out. I felt pain in my ankles. Something was reaching up through the snow, breaking through the frozen dirt and grabbing at my legs with sharp claws. I stomped and kicked with all my might. At this point, I didn't want to know what the fuck was out there.
Fair enough,
I
bitch.
just started running toward the gravel road with both hands outstretched, hoping that I felt that cold tarp before anything else. When it was in my grasp, I pulled it away with all of my strength, a flood of snow, hail, and broken twigs covering the ground. As Finn shoved Daniel into the bed of the pickup truck, I rounded to the other side, opening the old rusted door and fumbling with my keys frantically before the engine finally roared to life. It wasn't the only thing that rumbled. The ground began to split in front
I
of the
promise we're
vehicle.
almost done
The
listening.
snow and dirt sinking into a fresh hole in the earth where so many decaying gray
I am
hands
enraptured by the
started to claw
differences.
their way out. We heard the terrible, mutated voices of the Hydra, screaming and howling into the air as it started to climb to the surface with its many human heads in the lead. It was bigger now. The bodies at the top of the centipede fresher than the ones before it. More sleeping victims had floated towards their terrible end. "Finn, get in the car," I said, refusing to take my eyes off the beast. "Get in the car!" I practically threw myself fully into the driver's seat, glancing back just long enough to slam my foot on the accelerator. The wheels spun in the snow, moving mere inches. I heard the shrill squawk of crows as several of them began to throw themselves against the windshield, flapping their wings and scratching talons against the glass, some of them with many limbs or two heads shrieking in tandem. The front end of the truck started to tip as the Hydra pushed its weight against the ground, towering above us like a tree made of melted flesh. Arms, legs, hooves, tails, and all manner of other mismatched parts were grabbing at the front of the truck, trying to pull us down into the earth with it. I stomped on the accelerator harder, the wheels spinning and putting up smoke. Finn, do me a favor. Grab the wheel. In a show of utter stupidity that was very on brand for me, I took the shotgun off my back and leaned out the driver's side window, aiming at the Hydra's many human torsos.
Get him!
I shot
Get him!
right under the ribs, the dead skin ripping apart and half of its body hanging loose from the rest. I shot another, hitting its shoulder and blasting the arm right off. The tires squealed.
Absolutely.
The engine popped a few times before we finally started to move backward, tearing through the snow and slipping in all directions. Finn was frantically trying to steer us while my foot remained on the pedal.
My man!
Another round at the monster that was now beginning its pursuit. Evelyn, what in God's green earth is wrong with you? Finn pulled me by the coat and brought me back into the car. When I took control of the steering wheel, I did my best to avoid the trees, waving down the gravel path.
What do you mean?
Covered in ice.
What do you mean?
I could hardly see the road in front of me. I hope Dan's holding on tight, I said, my knuckles white against the steering wheel. I screamed as we spun out of control at the edge of the road, hitting a group of bushes. Finn looked more scared of my driving than anything else. Meanwhile,
Reasonably,
many
to be
thundering
fair,
steps of the Hydra
you
closed
went a
in
little Vin
behind us
Diesel on him,
as the
so
awkward creature
you know,
moved through the
fair enough.
snow with any limb that could support its massive weight.
just like you see Danny's
Dan
just
was
like,
still alive. I did not envy his view. We sped down the mountain road at the mercy of the ice and the blinding fog.
I'm gonna stop there because I'll wind up listening to the whole fucking chapter otherwise. I guess the very first thing that I want to say is there is so much to unpack from the very first episode recorded with a shitty little Yeti, you know, in a non-soundproofed room where I was just kind of getting the chops of like reading for something that, you know, Spike had presented to me and basically said, "Hey man, I have this story I think you'd be good for. You know, do you mind giving it a read for me?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah." And then here we are in 2023 having not only finished, you know, all of the vocal stuff, but watching, you know, Win grow and then turn around and release, you know, book 1 for accounts that like a real physical tangible copy, you know, and being so proud of them for having released that, and then having, you know, that thankfulness for Spike taking the shot to give me the story to begin with back then, all the way to having the small lull in between chapters of like just life and all kinds of shit catching up and not being able to, you know, to kind of get the accounts fixed, only to have the final chapter for this piece come to play this year. And I love you. I love you too. I love the fact that you came back and you fucking punched shit in the face and you faced down a very difficult chapter and basically said, "No, go fuck yourself." And then you did it. You did the damn thing. And I'm so fucking proud of you endlessly. I can't really express it enough or in the right way that I want to, but it is amazing hearing that piece from so many years ago, not just from the vocal standpoint, but you as a writer, when and how you have changed and improved, and you put all of yourself into these situations and these characters and your writing, and you know, and then Spike and how he has changed as a person and improved and kind of went through the motions of stuff and adjusted. And now here we are, you know, so much later. Yeah. When started dead air about 36 hours after getting the cancer-free declaration. And I'm glad. I'm glad you didn't stay away. Like, I will never be more glad. And I will be a bug in your ass for as long as I possibly can be. So help me Jesus Christ. So I I'm excited, and I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek insight thing. Um because I know that a lot of you are here because you do enjoy Accounts from a Lonely Broadcast Station. There's not a lot of you here, but that just means that the ones that are here get to at least experience the conversation aspect of it and ask questions. Um, when obviously completed accounts for book one, we will be discussing the audiobook portion of things very soon / shortly / within a reasonable timeline. We will be working on it, so please be patient. I promise that, things will go accordingly. But I am excited to be able to revisit this. Now, doing an audiobook is one thing, and you guys I know are aware of that. You'll also notice on my YouTube that I have started to release small cinematography based voiceovers. So there are film scenes with special edition, we'll call them, voiceovers that go with them. Now there are 2 left. I'm glad you like them. So far there's only 2. I am attempting to release 1 a week, so we have 2 left. The last one is going to be my favorite. I have a little bit of work to do over the next week and a half to be able to get it and do it the way that I want it done, because it is a little more ambitious than the other 3, the 2 that have been released, the next one up. But the last one is going to be the big one, because I think it's also one of the longest. I am putting my fingers, thank you, Edgy. I'm putting my fingers in the cinematography aspect of it and kind of adding it in because I was trying to gauge the interest of what people would think if we were able to look at potentially turning accounts into a film. It would have to be independent, obviously, and it would have to be relatively self-funded. But having seen all of us grow and go through everything we've gone through and do what we've done, make the connections and everything else, and this has been such an important story, an important series to me personally, for a lot of reasons, some of which some people know and some of which a lot of people don't know and probably never will. But being beside Wen, who is not only a phenomenal writer and author, but just a generally amazing fucking human being, and beside, Mr. Creepypasta, who is also an amazing, phenomenal human being and someone that I am very grateful for always and forever all the time. I wanted to do what I could to try to give back in a way that meant a lot, not just to myself from a selfish perspective, but also to everyone else who put their heart and soul into, Evelyn and Danny and Finn and the story and Big Boy and Bartholomew and everybody in between. And I wanted to do everything in my power to try to see it turned into an independent feature film. Whether it was, maybe shorts, uh, episodic shorts kind of situation where we based it chapter to chapter, if it was like a mini web series, just whatever it could be. I obviously haven't launched anything. I haven't made an official statement about it. There's not really anything official, but I do have a lot of discussions that I have had, am still having, and will continue to have, because I would like nothing more than to see this thing I very much love with every fiber of my being be, I guess, put out and shown, beyond just an audio capacity, so that I kind of can give you guys my personal love letter for what the series is and means to me, written to and for everybody who is a fan of the series, not just because of my voice, but the writing, because of the editing, because of how the story, panned out and things went. And I think what's amazing about it is that this is a story that captures something for everyone, and something that they have been through and shit that they have to face, whether it's addiction, depression, trauma, whatever facet of that you have had to go through. I feel like everybody kind of touched on a character that they personally connected with. And there's something really fucking amazing about that. And being able to write my own love letter and give it, to everybody who is a fan of the series is something that I've thought about for the last several years. The hard part, yeah, horror, but make it vulnerable, which makes it even better horror. Um, it's it's obviously something that I didn't have the appropriate connections or ability to do then that I do now. Um, I've met a lot of phenomenal and crazy talented fucking people. Obviously, the Chilling app is launching film stuff now, so they're starting to team up with independent distributors and independent horror developers and directors, um, as well as just being there for fans of horror. We've also got, I just finished doing Bittertooth, which got selected for a film festival in Culver City Film Festival, which is phenomenal. um, we have all of the things in our hands that would make an amazing piece of cinema, and the talent with which to do it. We have an amazing fucking writer. I have a cinematographer that I have in mind that I know would just fucking kill, uh, with their ability to capture the scenes in the way that would really speak volumes, not just emotionally for accounts, but also, for the characters themselves, and also with the creatures. Um, I just think that it's thank you so much. Um, I just think that it's really fucking phenomenal to be able to have these assets now, as well as these really talented people that I can bring together on a project that means a lot to all of us. So, no promises. I don't have any contracts. There's nothing in the works. I'm not gonna, allude that there's something behind the scenes and I'm keeping this big giant secret from you guys. Because if I knew anything, I probably wouldn't shut the fuck up about it and would have to tell you. But I will tell you that part of the reason that those cinematics exist right now in this moment, is because I wanted to try to put my fingers, into the pie and kind of test the temperature of things and see what you guys were thinking or feeling about, seeing it potentially be a film. So I hope that you've been enjoying those as they are. Like I said, I have a lot of work to do on the last one, which is going to be the Halloween release. And I'm pretty excited about it because there's some prosthetic play that has to come in. to that as well. So I I don't know. Maybe it'll be a positive thing, and maybe we can band together to see it come through to fruition. But we will see. I also just want an excuse to find a way to make Big Boy. Let's be honest. Nothing else actually matters. The emotional aspect, the traumatic aspect, bringing all these amazing characters together. None of that fucking matters. I just want to see Big Boy on the big screen. Fine. But yeah, so I guess comments, opinions, if you guys have any questions. It's always about the big boy, the best boy. Obviously, Wen and I have discussed this prior and lightly. Again, there's nothing contractual or anything as far as that stuff is concerned. But for the moment, I figured I would at least see how it would go. Read the book 1, can't wait for book 2. Short movie would be great. I appreciate that. And that's something else we could look at too, is just doing it as a short and seeing. What drew you into the story when you first got the gig to narrate it? The grumpy fucking narrator. Literally Evelyn did. Because a lot of you guys, as you're aware, I don't actually read the stories before narrating them because I think that there's an authenticity in delivering the line. That's also why I've gotten a lot better at that, because you can hear my flubs in that very first recording that you couldn't really hear in the most recent recording. So the differences again are night and day, and I've gotten a lot more well practiced with being able to do that. But the more that I realized that Evelyn was kind of just me, the more that I was like, I can vibe with this. And then her growth happened, and then you find out a lot about her past. And the more I went through in that moment, the more I started to realize that this was a character that was going to stay with me. And I think every performer, actor, voice actor, theater production actor, whatever, every person who writer, um, every person who's ever had their hands in something creative has at least one character that they have performed as or written that stays with them for the rest of their fucking life. Doesn't matter if it was a big production, a small production, if you did it in high school in the black box room and only 2 people showed up to the performance, like, there is a character for everyone that sits in your brain like a little brain worm and never goes away. And Accounts for Lonely Broadcast Station and Evelyn has been and always will be that for me, because it got me through a lot of shit. And I got emails and messages and all kinds of things from complete fucking strangers that had no idea who the fuck I was, just telling me that it meant a lot to them, and that it and it sounds dramatic saying it out loud, but some of these, and I still have a lot of them, but some of these messages were literally people telling me like, hey, this story saved my life, and like, thank you for bringing it to life. Wen has a couple. I sent Wen some of the messages, as a matter of fact, over the last couple of years, because they were very important for for them to see as well, because it was their words were put on page for that. So I love that. I love that we as a unit were able to bring so much emotion and joy and really, to a degree, to some folks, some healing too. So I think that's perfect. Donation support link. There's one down below, but you can just head over to autumnivy.com or officialautumnivy.com, and that's where all of that is. There isn't yet any support or donation stuff for a cinema production. I'm gonna work on that. We'll see. But if you do want to support the project, please go buy Wen's book. That's the best thing that you can do, is go and buy the Accounts novel and support them either through Amazon or Barnes and Noble, whatever works. But that's going to be the best way that you could support in general. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Wen just said it was very humbling to be part of something that helped people discover who they are and what they're worth, and that's true. It's got to be wild for you too, to recognize that there was such a huge piece of something that you created and you had your hands on, um that brought so much shit, good and bad, and into and out of people's lives. It's just that's that's got to be fucking wild. But I think it's cool. I think it's important. Anyway, that's what I've got to say about that. Um from a technical perspective, seeing the night and day differences between my initial performance when I was Evelyn for the very, very first time to that very last chapter 3 episode for Dead Air, and seeing the technical differences, the technique differences, the acting, um, the writing differences, as when commented about, all of it was so fucking wild to hear in a night and day kind of format. And I can honestly say that I'm proud. That is something I am so proud of Mr. Creepypasta and Win and myself and all of you guys as listeners, that supported the series and was willing to stick it through, 5 years worth of bullshit. Really. Only for all of us to come up to this point. I think that revisiting where you were to where you are can put us in a position to either recognize that we can and need to do better, or that we did and are continuing to do better. Neither of those paths are wrong for anyone. There's some people that didn't even recognize that they weren't on a path of growth, and it's their opportunity to go, you know what, no, I haven't changed and it's time to make a difference. Or, you look back and you go, holy fuck, like I'm not the same person now that I was then, and that is for the better. For sure. Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Win. I really do appreciate that, and I love I love hearing that first round of, like, I don't really know who this person is, but I kind of get a vibe, to I have connected so deeply with this character and with these relationships that she's built in the story and the things that she's gone through, that it is integrated, into myself. So just really, it's really nice. It's really cool. Um, but yeah, so sharing, liking, commenting, subscribing, all that shit obviously really, really, really helps and will continue to help, especially if we do, get into a position where we can discuss locking down a budget and potentially trying to find a way to make a cinematic happen, like a feature happen. So fingers crossed. And if you guys, enjoy Mr. Creepypasta's stuff and enjoy Wen's work, enjoy my work, then your support would mean the world over if we do get to that point where we're able to, to make it happen. So fingers crossed. Yeah. Nightmare Fighting Tournament was a lot of fun. Playing Alduin was really cool, which Alduin was a lot of screaming and a lot of, like, very gruff vocal work, but I was hoarse by the time I was done recording for Alduin, but it was worth it. That was a lot of fun. I think that's the other cool thing, though, too, is that I've had exposure and experience to, other narration pieces and to games. Obviously, I was able to lend my voice to Valerie and the mortuary assistant, as well as Rebecca's mother, and some of the aspects for the demon. So all of those things coming together was pretty cool. Yeah, the Super Eye Patch Wolf video. That was a lot of fun. I felt so bad for the shit he went through, though. Hi. Did you do a thing? You gonna come sit for a minute?
I can do that.
But you gotta make it weird. Oh. They want to know how you're feeling.
Great.
We haven't eaten dinner.
I made dinner.
Yeah, and then we didn't eat it.
Yeah.
Great.
No, sir. Depart.
I want you to know that he came in here about like 15, 20 minutes ago, stood right here, farted.
Oh, yeah.
Like to the point where he shit his guts out. I was thoroughly convinced. And then he fucking left.
He's got real bad guts right
Your dog just crop dusted me. Like he came in and was like, "Hey, how are you? I got a toy. Aren't I cute? Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle." And then farted and fucking left.
That's my boy.
And I was trying so hard to not think about the fact that I couldn't smell anything for a minute because it was so goddamn rancid.
Hurt his feelings.
He's not even in the room. Thank God. Why? So he could shit himself again? Like that's all that was.
You're gonna make
No, I don't want to hear it. That was fucking it was rancid butthole.
He's telling you that he loves you with his butt. It's fine.
That's not how that works. That's not. No. 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 No, it's not actually at all. It's gross. It was gross. That was gross. Rancid Butthole sounds like a great band name. I'm sure it probably is somewhere. It's trash can kicking punk rock. Anyway, no, I think that a lot of the exposure that I got in some of the voice acting roles that I picked up, and Billy for Sucker for Love, Date to Die For. I'm really excited for you guys to hear Billy and see how you feel about that particular character. I think I'm pretty sure Akabaka said that there's going to be some announcement stuff on the DreadX showcase. So if you guys wanted to know any more information about the showcase, I have a feeling that maybe we'll get an official release date. That'd be cool. I don't know any more or any less than you guys do, so I can't really tell you anything about it. I just know that I am excited. And that's about where I'm at with that, so. They could go on a tour with Butthole Surfers. That's also fair. And Rancid. Stop. The trifecta. You guys are fucking gross. Oh yeah? Is that
Official terminology?
Okay, I was just checking. Oh fuck, stop it. Get some help. Anyway. I never noticed how sculpted Twin's face is.
Sculpted.
You got that jawline.
I do have jawline. That is true. I had jawline before I transitioned.
Yeah, he's always had jawline. He's always had that handsome Squidward face.
Handsome? Okay. You say so.
Fair enough. But yeah, I didn't really have a plan beyond that. I just promised that I would do a live stream. Technically, I'm not supposed to stream on Wednesdays. I don't actually have a streaming day. I can't really say that. All of my streaming schedule stuff has gotten fucked.
So you just kind of like fuck around and stream when you can at this point.
Kind of. At this rate. I'm always fucking doing something. Anyway. Yeah. I appreciate that. I think that the voice actors in that game are fucking phenomenal. Wouldn't trade them for the world. Amazing, amazing job. Period. Speaking of which, I'd really like to get these mods to work because I'm going to stream a Dark Urge playthrough because that's probably one of the hardest things I'm going to do.
So we'll struggle, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what I did. I know that I got frustrated and removed all of them, and now this is where I'm at. So, also, we will be, I think we're running a sale right now.
25% off.
Yeah, we're running a sale on Mad Witchcraft right now, so you'll see the link just popped up, etsy.com/shop/Mad Witchcraft. It is 25% off the shop for Samhain and All Hallows Eve and Halloween and all that fancy shit. Even if you're not necessarily into the witchy stuff and you just like smell goods, we also make smell goods. I started doing character sense as well. So if you have a specific character that you're like, I'd love to sniff them, let me know. I did drop and change the pricing on those as well, so you'll notice that they are significantly cheaper than they used to be. I don't remember why they were so expensive before. I think it was because I found a new distributor for some of the shit that I had to buy.
Yeah.
So that's been dropped now that I have what I need. I got spoiled on a Dark Urge playthrough thing, and now I can't bring myself to do it. Listen, I can't bring myself to do half the playthrough shit that I've got to do in Baldur's Gate anyway, and I'm just kind of floating through life doing my best.
Is romancing the vampire is hard.
Look, I didn't think I was gonna get to bang him in chapter 1.
Surprise.
I had to go backwards and fix some things that I had done and make decisions that I was like, would I make this decision? And then I'm like, well, if I was an asshole, I'd make this decision. So I made those decisions because I wanted to bang the vampire.
You did great.
And then I did. And I don't have any regrets. I have no regrets. I have absolutely no regrets. So, but yeah, I am going to go ahead and pop off. With that said, I'll see if I can fix these, go from there. Oh, I will be posting a new video, so don't forget that everything is listed under official.automivy.com. I also have new merch under automivy.com, so check that out if you have not already. You guys take care of yourselves. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Take a nap, drink some water, walk your goldfish.